Hello. How are you guys doing? I just want to show you my cute little cat, Pearl. Oh, she's nervous. Say hello. Okay, we'll put you down. Poor thing. Okay. Hi. Hello. I've started this like 100 times. So it's Rogue Mama Stitcher, Amber. So Rogue Mama Stitcher from Instagram, Amber in real life, I guess. So there has been a few things that have kept me away. That's my cat. Well, more like my husband's cat, but so number one, my youngest, he's 9. He got his tonsils and adenoids removed. So I've just been watching over him pretty closely, just like for the week or so, very closely after his surgery, and then, up until today. So this has almost been 2 weeks, and he should be good after that. So, he just hasn't been able to lift and, more than like 5 pounds. And so that's been interesting because our cats are all over 5 pounds. And so that's hard for him to stay away from lifting them up. And but he does cuddle them. We just brought the cats to him. So one of them is a pretty big cat. The one that just meowed, she's like 15 pounds. So we have her food downstairs, so she always has to like walk down the stairs and back up when she wants to get something to eat. So I think that's keeping her at least at the 15-pound mark. Anyway, but she was born like bigger than all the other cats. She was always, at least, I think she was about like double their size, like when she was nursing her mom. So anyway, enough about our cats. I do have, I actually don't have any like whips that I'm gonna show, but I do have some future projects, and I have some finishes, or one finish rather, and then some fully finished objects, so FFOs, and gonna just talk a little bit about, like some TV shows and one film. So actually 2 films, sorry. So yeah, and then I'll do some shout outs, and yeah. So my, let's see. So something I've been kind of I'm pretty big into film. I love film, and my family loved film, that I grew up with my mom and dad and my siblings. And one of my goals has been to like, excuse me, share film with, like classics or just film that I really enjoyed when I grew up with my kids. And Crafty Rin, the other day on her, I think it was a few weeks ago now, on her Flosstube had talked about the John Cusack movie Better Off Dead, and that reminded me of One Crazy Summer. And I think the One Crazy Summer is like probably less known even than Better Off Dead, but same director, I believe. And so I was just like, I gotta watch One Crazy Summer with my boys. And so I had my oldest and I watched it together, and that was really awesome. Like he's like, that's one of the best movies ever. Like, that's so good. And I love Demi Moore in that. It's like I've been painting and staining furniture for the last week. There's my marble Captain America. Anyway, so yeah, I've been doing that, and I think I've kind of got like a little tickle in my throat now because of breathing in the fumes. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, so then, yeah, that was better. Our One Crazy Summer, super good. Just funny and cheesy, and of course, like back in the 80s, the bad guys are always the real estate developers, so that was pretty classic. for the 80s. And then we watched Pink Panther Strikes Again. I think that's like, you know, the Pink Panthers with Peter Sellers. Those are, I think, the best Pink Panthers, directed by Blake Edwards. Excuse me. And we showed that to our youngest and our oldest, but I think our oldest remembered it and our youngest did not. So our oldest is 15, but yeah, so that our youngest loved that movie, Pink Panther Strikes Again. So that was like number 4, I think, of the Blake Edwards Pink Panthers. And I think that's like kind of like probably the funniest as well as being the goofiest. The first couple that like Pink Panther and then The Shot in the Dark, those are both goofy, but they're like a lot less goofy than the ones that Peter Sellers did when he was older, after he'd had like I think he had a major heart attack and got some like plastic surgery done, and you know, some crazy things happened in his life, and so he kind of like really changed like visibly, you know, in the succession of films, and you know, that's fine. Like I just think he is amazing and awesome as an actor. So anyway, yeah, so I mean, if you want to like look into the Pink Panther series or whatever you want to call it, like I definitely would start at the beginning and then work your way up to Strikes Again. So because you know, it's just kind of a lot to like a lot of goofiness to dive right into. Anyway, so and then I wanted to like on one of my Flosstubes I talked about like Hitchcock films, and one of them that I had mentioned, I didn't really say what it was about, and I've noticed kind of like a theme of movies that and TV that I've watched more recently, and even kind of like, yeah, like maybe, I don't know, anyway, like that I've watched recently have kind of had this theme of like mental health. And so anyway, I wanted to you know, say what kind of this movie was about that I didn't specify in my Hitchcock Flosstube. So Spellbound, and this is always going to be backwards because I don't have the patience, I guess, to like flip the screen or something. I don't know. One of you will probably be like, it's so easy, all you have to do is push a button before you start your recording or something like that. I know I could figure it out, but anyway, so Spellbound. The whole theme of this movie with Ingrid Bergman and Gregory Peck, it's like Freudian theory. Like it's all it just follows like from beginning to end Freudian theory. You know, that basically if you're going through, you know, so someone who's like maybe has a major in psychology will be like, oh boy, she doesn't know what she's talking about. So whatever, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. But, you know, that trauma, that if there's something wrong with you and that, you know, you have you probably have unresolved issues from your childhood. So that's something that's like really interesting to watch play out in Spellbound. So I do recommend this. It's really, really good. But yeah, so I thought that was important. I don't know, like I said, kind of you know, a little commentary on each one of them that I showed in that Hitchcock, the Flosstube where I mentioned Hitchcock movies, and then I didn't even describe that one at all. So anyway, just wanted to correct that because it was probably like the most important one that I wanted to tell you guys about besides Rebecca. But anyway, and so then I watched last week the Val documentary, VAL, about Val Kilmer. And I'd actually been following him on Facebook for a while, like while the media was, you know, saying that he was dying of cancer and stuff like that, and where he was pretty upset about that. And so I've been following him a while and interested in his, you know, pursuits after acting. Like he's, you know, stopped acting after the Mark Twain like tour that he did. And anyway, the Val documentary was was pretty real, I guess. Like, it was really just like got to me. Like, I loved it. Like, I was riveted. I normally am cross-stitching during things I watch that are a lot of dialogue, but he's lost his like his normal voice because of the holes. I think it was the tracheotomy maybe that they had to do for him to let him breathe or eat or something like that. I can't remember. You have to watch it to find out. But he had to make a choice and I think he knew his voice was going to be affected. So as an actor, that had to be devastating and a hard decision to make. But anyway, it was a super interesting, just look at his life. And I love Comic-Cons. I love I love that some celebrities will actually like go and meet their fans and just kind of just try to be like accessible a little bit. And and I do know that there are kind of like some scary fans out there, and the actors do have to be, famous people in general do have to be protected and careful, because there are some people who have some issues, and for some reason like famous people or what have you, public figures can kind of bring out like maybe some unsavory characters that might not be able to help themselves. So anyway, so one of the things that I thought was crazy was he in his documentary, like, he had filmed like just so much of his own life, starting with like his brothers when he was younger, and he had a clip of an acting teacher when he went to Juilliard, and Val Kilmer is talking about a character that he's playing, and he's saying, I personally have not had suicidal thoughts. I hope this doesn't get me like in trouble on YouTube, but Val Kilmer saying, but he'll still try to like relate to this character he's playing. And the teacher was like, just went kind of like crazy or psycho on him, and was like, you can't tell me you've never had suicidal thoughts. Like, everyone's had suicidal thoughts. And Val Kilmer was like I think he was the youngest person to be accepted into Juilliard, and so he was very young and green at that time. And so I thought, wow, that's like nuts that the teacher actually he kind of started like screaming about everyone's had these thoughts before. And he's like, even if you just tried to empathize with your character, that means you were considering that. I mean, so if you guys watch it and then you think there's like a something else to glean from that like rant that his teacher went on, let me know. It's okay. Like, that's my perception though, that his teacher went way overboard, especially to someone I think who was still a teenager. But anyway, so but you see like Val Kilmer's face, like because he's showing the clip himself as a now as an adult, and he's just goes like like his reaction like to this teacher like wow. Anyway, so yeah, so then the most recent TV show though that I absolutely loved was and I'm a big fan of like Luke Evans. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, but he's he was guest on in the live action Disney Beauty and the Beast, and he was in Three Musketeers, and he was in The Hobbit, and he's a great singer. I love Luke Evans' voice, especially when he sings Delilah, originally sung by Tom Jones, made famous by Tom Jones. Both of them are from Wales. And anyway, but 9 Perfect Strangers, it's on Hulu. Definitely is about mental health. It was about like this it's now over. The series is done. But it starred Nicole Kidman as well, Melissa McCarthy, whom, oh, she's so funny. I love Melissa McCarthy. Anyway, yeah, it was about these nine perfect strangers. They go to a spa, well, kind of like spa, mental health spa, and I don't want to, because like everything is sort of like suspenseful, so I don't want to like say almost anything about what happens. So, but it's yeah, it's definitely like more current. It deals with more like current issues, or even treatment rather, for like mental health, and that's one thing I absolutely love, because there's, you know, different like experiments and studies that have been done. My cat is just like scratching the curtains. I know. Sorry. But sorry, my cats are like having a little showdown here. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, yeah, so like there's been like experiments or testing studies on different types of treatment, chemical treatment for, you know, different like mental health struggles. And so it goes into that. And so that was really fascinating to me to kind of go through that journey with these characters. So anyway, sorry if this is boring to cross stitchers. I swear I will get to cross stitch. But oh, and the other thing with that was like really felt relevant to me was, you know, speaking of like Val Kilmer and Comic-Cons and being accessible, like he said that basically, you know, he was going to these, you know, meet and greets and cons and stuff to like meet fans was like the lowest thing that an actor could do. Was basically, you know, he's basically calling himself like a has-been, because he's saying like, I'm selling who I used to be, you know, charging fans for autographs and pictures and, you know, for appearances and things like that, and saying that's like the lowest thing you could, he's at the lowest point as an actor, or what have you, artist, I guess, you know, in the film art, doing that, you know, selling his former self. But I guess like that felt like kind of sad, because really, you know, you see he has like a wonderful relationship with his children. Like his kids, you can just tell, love him to pieces, and that he loves them to pieces, and that his different decisions in his life, big decisions, have been for family, for his kids especially. And you know, I do admire him for that, because he's a survivor. You know, he's been through a lot with his cancer, and you know, I just you know, think he's doing the right thing with his life, and that he's not like a has-been at all. Like, he's still actively an artist, and he's actively a good father and a supportive father. And you know, even if, yeah, so I mean, it's, you know, even if he feels like he's a has-been in one way, you know, that doesn't really matter. Like, you know, most people, if they're amazing at something, at some point, they're not always going to be amazing at it until the very end or something. I don't know. That's my opinion, but I don't know. I guess this is like, it kind of hit home with me though, because my own dad, he, and you know, with athletes, they even have a shorter, most of the time, shelf life than actors, you know, and singers. And my dad, he played professional football. I mean, this kind of is like got fresh in my mind because of Val Kilmer's statement, you know, about you know, kind of being a has-been or whatever. Because like when I went to high school, you know, I had one of my CrossFit coaches, or cross training coaches had come up to me, and he was like I think he was a wrestler in college or something, and my dad actually really respected him, but he had come up to me. My dad had played in the NFL. He played for the Denver Broncos, and he was in the NFL for like almost a decade as a defensive linebacker. And one of my coaches had said it was Halloween, and I was wearing one of my dad's old jerseys, but it was like a replica of his jersey, because his old jerseys were pretty gross and torn up and stuff. And anyway, so I was wearing one of a replica, and I just had like a bandana on, and just in my weight class. And the coach came up to me and he whispered in my ear. He goes, Jerry Inman has been all washed up, something like that. And I think he was joking, and this guy had like vodka in his coffee, like everyone in the school pretty much knew that this guy was like always dosing. But anyway, so that kind of like bothered me. And because like when someone says something about your dad, it's like that's personal, like you're kind of like but I love, that's my dad, you kind of like maybe most people can relate and feel kind of defensive about your own father, right? So I didn't even know what to say. I was just kind of shocked. And so I went home, and I didn't want to say this to my dad, but I was looking for like comfort and maybe like guidance of like, how can I feel better that my teacher just said this about you, and he says, well, better to be a has-been than it never was. And I just thought, hey, that's pretty great. I love that, like that's okay. And life goes on, you just keep living, and you just keep doing your best and move forward, even if you make mistakes. And if you're flawed, everyone's flawed. Everybody makes mistakes. So like we can't be too hard on ourselves, so anyway, so that's partly my message to Val Kilmer. Not that he'd ever watch my stuff, but as a human, to another human, I was just like, don't say that, at your lowest point. That's just sad. Anyway, so, and then I just wanted to show you guys like a picture. So, I'm not making it up, but that's one picture of my dad, in the NFL. So his little Bronco helmet. Anyway, and then he was a beast, so I wanted to show this picture. It's one of my favorite pictures. He looks like the Incredible Hulk, but he's holding an Olympian on his shoulders, and that's like for a Denver newspaper article about this gymnastic Olympian here. I don't remember her name. He has the article at home, in Washington in his scrapbook. But anyway, so and this is like a more fun one, but it's like we do have like the original 8x10. That's like the Getty Images. But yeah, he's a pretty nice guy, really jovial, sweet guy. Anyway, so yeah, and and another thing I forgot was that to tell you in the one I talked about, the Goonies, the Flosstube, where the Northwest Vacation one, is that often when we watch like 80s movies or TV shows, or even 90s movies, my dad will tell us, point out someone that he played football with and or against, and the Goonies movie, the actor who when we were kids, when we were watching it, and the actor who plays Sloth, his name is John Matuzak, and my dad played against him. And so my dad would come downstairs, and we'd be watching the movie, and he's like, I played against that guy. And John Matuzak's like this huge 6'8", former player, and my dad was like 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", something like that. And anyway, so we go, oh really? Because Sloth is like crazy looking. He's like, his face is, because apparently his mom dropped him as a baby. It was so sad, that story, but Sloth is such a cute character. But so we go, oh really? So we know he has like theater makeup or film you know, prosthetics on and stuff. And so we're like, well, what do you really look like, Dad? You know, because this is before the internet. That's how, you know, old I am. But so I go, what do you really look like, Dad? And he'd just say, oh, the same. You know, and we're like, oh, whatever, you know. So he was, my dad just like keep the joke going and, you know, never actually say what the guy looked like. So now I know he just looks like a normal guy. And oh, and he was, and John Matusak was in One Crazy Summer. That's another thing I wanted to tell you guys. So he plays like a kind of like a biker gang like leader or something. I can't remember. Anyway, but he had like a pink spiky wig on, and it was funny. Anyway, okay. Oh my gosh, I probably better get to cross stitch. You guys are gonna hate my guts. Okay. So let's see. Oh, okay. So I wanted to show you guys like fall, my fall finishes, or like autumn final finished objects. So this one, and I promised Crafty Wren I was going to show this one. So this is a wall hanging that I did, and I am not super confident that this is like the best job, and that's okay. I still display it in my house. My husband actually did these like little acorns for the dowels for the end of it. I didn't do that. So, so that's how I finished it, with like the, I don't know how to say it, like those kind of crystals, and then just this little like autumn leaf pack. Probably got it from Joann's, my guess. But yeah, there's my finish, and it's been done for a while, for a few years. So yeah, and it's like sparkly golden corn fabric all around, and I did piping around the edges. So so yeah, that's how I finished it, Rin. So it says, I will tell you what it says. Autumn faded glory of beauty past, golden promise of splendor yet to come. So that, I just love that so much. So I think autumn is definitely my favorite season, and I think that's partly why, you know, is just that poem, you know, faded glory of beauty past, golden promise of splendor yet to come. So, you know, just magical time, and the weather isn't too bad either. So yeah, that was my first fall final finished object. And then that was from the October 2008 the Cross Stitcher magazine, volume 25, number 5. So a long time ago, and I did not do that in 2008. I can't remember when I did that, but it took me a while to get to that. I think I did that maybe 2016, something like that. I've just been hanging on to this forever. So anyway, and then you guys saw my witch, the Witch in a Cauldron by Lola Lotta, but I finally finished it. So I did the final finished object of it. So that's what it looks like. And see, there's that broom. It's a sparkly broom, and I don't know if you could tell, but I got that at Joann's, just a little prop to kind of make that picture more complete. And this kind of like an opal sheen to the you know, little jewels there. Yeah, there's my Witch in a Cauldron finish. Isn't she so beautiful and just fun? And she's just exhausted after a full night of doing her witchy stuff. So yeah, I love this. And let's see, so she's new to Flosstube, just a little newer than I am. My Amazing World, Alexis My Amazing World. So she showed her final finished objects, and I've always been intimidated about just doing them myself. I've always kind of felt more, my cat's like playing with the curtains. That's why the light, if you're looking, the lights just go bouncing everywhere. But anyway, yeah, so Alexis showed, you know, these awesome final finish objects that she did, and you know, and it kind of made me like, it inspired me to like not be so afraid to finish them myself, and that I don't have to always get my bigger pieces done by a professional framer. So I did my witch in a cauldron like that, just, you know, out of her giving me some courage. So thank you very much, Alexis. And then my other FFO for autumn is the Soda Stitch Hello Halloween. So I showed the finish already for this one on another Flosstube. I hope I don't drop this. But yeah, so that's my FFO Hello Halloween. So there's little like candy corns in there, and then she's framed with, that piece is framed with lace on the inside of the shadow box. I guess that's what you call this. It's kind of like a little, what, basket or bin or something that I had for a long time that I wanted to repurpose. So anyway, and then one more thing, the Wee Little Stitches Frankenstein and Frankenstein's Bride. I just put that in a simple frame, and I thought, you know, it's pretty fitting because it's a simple piece. Yeah, so that's it. So nothing too fancy on that, and I love it. So and then my finish that I am going to make into a oversized pillow, as I told you guys on my last Flosstube. This is the only the whip I've been working on, and that's it since last time, since I finished the Witch in a Cauldron. But yeah, so that's my little cute Goodnight Kitty from Soda Stitch. She's just one of them, but I love how she has the different color of eyes, and she reminds me of my niece. So I'm going to do that into a big oversized pillow. And then I wanted to show some mail, and I have been controlling myself, and this is one reason I had to do this today, this Flosstube today, because I've been controlling myself not opening some of my awesome Stitchy mail. So my first one that I have to open is Agnes Little Minders. If you guys have heard of her, she's on Etsy and Facebook, and she is also on Instagram. So I couldn't get all of them that I wanted because she's starting to sell out super fast, like Clay by Kim, and I love Clay by Kim too, but it was like I kind of stopped trying to go for her stuff because she got her own website where it was like harder for me to like pay really fast. Like on Etsy, it's way easier for me to pay fast. I gotta figure out how to like set up a faster pay on Kim's website. But anyway, so we're talking about Agnes, and so she sends a little thank you note with her stuff, with what she sells too. So it's adorable. I love, and then she has these little stickers with a dragon and a needle and thread. So she says, let's see. So she always sends like sweet things like this to every one of her customers. So I believe she's in Wales, England. So she says, thank you, Amber, with all my heart. You equals awesome. Much love, Agnes. And she's so cute. She has this like, she always has this little picture with her daughter. I think it's Maya, or yeah, M-A-Y-A. Anyway, so yeah, she's awesome. I love Agnes. And she is such an artist. Like her little Nico-Miah sculpture dragons and all the other stuff that she makes, it's just like she just puts so much of her heart into it, and she is, you know, every one of them's a little masterpiece, and I love using them and looking at them. So the first one, oh, she put two in a box. Okay, so the first ones are the little orange jack-o'-lantern. So, oh, he's so cute with his little underbite. There we go. Yeah. So, I love him. And then this jack-o'-lantern with a witch's hat. I had to get her stuff. There we go. I wanted to get a dragon with like pumpkins, like little, there we go. And I missed out because she's getting really popular in her little Amigos club that she informs when she's gonna put her stuff up. And then the backs are really cute too that she does. So, and if you join her Amigos club, she will give you 15% off on your purchases every time. So pretty amazing, pretty wonderful. She's awesome. Love Agnes. Anyway, I know I said that already, so sorry. It's true though. So here we go. Okay, so then she did this little, oh, I'll show you the other Halloween first. So, okay, so there's the dragon, like little Halloween dragon needle minder. Oh, I love the crystals and I love her work. It's just so cool. I wonder if it's supposed to go like that. Yeah, anyway, so beautiful. And then I got this little Christmas biscuit because it's getting close to Christmas. It looks like a edible biscuit. So little raspberries on it. There's one with chocolate too that's on there, but I like this one best. Anyway, so, okay. And then the backs of those. That one and that one. Okay. So, okay. And then she sends a little dum-dum with it. And she sends some tea that apparently is sort of like catnip. Cats love the little tea bag she's sending. So I've seen, so the other ladies or other people from the Amigos group on Facebook, they've commented on that. Sorry about the crinkles. Okay, and then some more Stitchy mail. This is from Ever After Clays. So I did open the box already, but now I just need to pull these out without dropping them. So they're actually not needle minders, and I think I've told you guys that before. Yeah, I have. I've told you that before. So I just got a couple more just because I love Halloween and more cool Halloween stuff comes out during Halloween. So little Halloween kitty, and then a little Frankenstein. If you guys haven't guessed already, I'm a fan of Frankenstein, and yeah, that story, the Mary Shelley story, but it's exaggerated and kind of funnier version of the Universal Studios one. I should just take it out of the package, but you get the idea, I think. So anyway, let me see. Oh, but she's on Etsy. I don't know if I said that, Ever After Clays. I got a bunch of little like princess mermaids from her, like Disney princess mermaids. There. See? Oh, isn't it so sweet? I love it. Okay. So, and then I got Stitchy mail. I like saved it for you guys. So there's that one. This is needle minders, or these are needle minders, I know. And I hope that this business put the name of their business on here. It's Needle Say More Store. So, and I got these Disney villain needle minders from Needle Say More. So yeah, aren't those cool? I love those. Those turned out awesome. This is the first time I saw those. Okay. So then I got this Annie's cross stitch calendar, and this is presented by the Just Cross Stitch magazine. So there's a lot of pretty good patterns on here, but I don't need to show all of them to you, but I thought this one was pretty cool for September. It's like kind of woodland animal scene, and I love the cat one. Here's a Santa, here's December. Yeah, so I'll kind of show you a little preview of all of them on the back here. So yeah, calendar, and let's see. I think this is Pokey Parlor. I think. Yeah. Anyway, cute. Thank you sticker, and oh my, lots of little thank you stickers on the back, and then purple tissue paper, which is so cute. I love that, like the pastel tissue paper. And then she sends a little coupon sometimes with her project bags. So I got a project bag from her, and she sends little skeins with the project bags, and then a little special needle minder. So she really goes all out and, like, you know, shows you appreciation as a customer. And so I have gotten a few other ones, but I'm going to save those. But see her little charm, little heart on there. Oops, I think the other side is the decorative side. There we go. Come on. I'm having a hard time focusing it. Okay. Anyway, so this is Anne of Green Gables, and I actually did get this for a specific project because I think one day soon I'm going to make the Anne of Green Gables soda stitch for my sister-in-law, because she loves that movie, loves that series and the book series, and she's also a redhead, so one of my sisters-in-law. Okay, and then let's see. Oh, that's not it. Sorry, that's something else I'm sending to somebody that a Stitchy friend. So, and then this project bag, I just had to have it. Just kidding. I did need it though, because it was so. I don't have like a lot of big project bags, and I do have bigger projects sometimes. So yeah. So, and it has these like one big pocket, and then like a little smaller pocket for like scissors or extra things, like maybe skeins that you have that are extra, or maybe if you just have like your ring of skeins like I do, or bobbins, you know, which I would put in there, and then I'd put my bigger project in the big piece. But the snap is not quite, you know, it's not like super strong, but I actually like wouldn't snap it closed most of the time, because I just have it on a shelf and, you know, just kind of open it up and like slide my projects out. So anyway, this is from Bling Designs on Etsy. And yeah, I love them. I love that they're quilted and they're cushy. I don't know if you can tell, but you can kind of hear the cush in there. Yeah, I love that, and I actually love this fabric, and I love the inside fabric too. It's just all pretty. So yeah, so that's my stitch email, and then not cross stitch related, but also just a friend, and also someone who I've been watching her resin. She's been doing resin art for a while. Her name is Toya, and her company is, I believe it's called Nico-Miah Gifts and Jewelry, and I'll put the links for all this stuff in the description box. So she did these coasters, this coaster set. Sorry, that was probably really loud. For the fall, for autumn, and just of like dried flowers and petals. And I just think they are so gorgeous. I love them. So they're all unique because, you know, they're actually real plants in there. So yeah, just beautiful. Like, I've been watching her stuff, and then I she does like, she does ashtrays, she does like jewelry, a lot of jewelry. So I don't really wear jewelry very much, like only kind of for stuff like this, or maybe when I go out like with my husband, like once in a great while, do I actually wear jewelry. I actually hate wearing like necklaces and earrings and anything really, so that like goes around my face and even on my hands. Like, yeah, it's only for special occasions, and Flosstube is. So anyway, so yeah, her coaster set just is beautiful, and that's I think that's important to show. But yeah, so if you want to go check her stuff out, you might find some things. She did a lavender set with dried flowers, also a coaster set that I was so tempted to get, but I'm trying to tone it down a little bit. So I'm not getting so much. Anyway, so then I wanted to do a shout out also to another friend. It's not cross stitch related, but it is mental health related. It's my friend Josh, and he is Odd Jaxx on YouTube, and he also is on Spotify. And one of the songs that I really love, he's a musician, an artist, and one of the songs that I love the most that he's done recently on his album is called Out the Window. And that there's a couple articles that have been written about his album, but one specifically about Out the Window, and it is about depression, about struggles with depression. And I just think it's brilliant, and I love it, and it's very catchy, and like, you know, it gets stuck in your head for like a while. So anyway, so I'll link that, and then I want to do a couple shout outs to, and also like Toya and Josh, they're both my friends, and they are so supportive, like are so sweet, like for even Flosstube, like even though they're both not cross stitchers, but they're both artists, and they just, you know, they're just super supportive to me as well. So anyway, so I don't know, like being supportive and like having a support system when you're like passionate about something, and maybe like not everybody gets it, but you know, other people who have passion like recognize that in fellow I guess fellow artists or fellow creators. So anyway, and then I wanted to do Flosstube shout outs. So and then I'm trying not to make this too long. I think it's already too long, but so my Flosstube shout outs are to well, one to Stitchman Darcy. He doesn't need a shout out from me, like his channel's huge, but he actually watched one of his Flosstubes, because I'm trying to kind of watch all of, if I like a Flosstuber, I will watch their most current Flosstube. Like, I don't want to watch something that's like from years ago and the person's not on Instagram, or someone I can't really like interact with at all. Like, that's not really that interesting to me. But if they're current, I will watch their current stuff, and then if they have more, then I'll watch kind of like their older ones and possibly binge and possibly watch all of them. Just depends on how much they have to catch up with. But anyway, so his was this Flosstube that I watched. I watched it right after Val, and it was I think it was like called Stitching in Bed #2 or something like that. And but he was like really kind of like pensive on that one, and was talking about kind of like his, you know, journey, or his I guess like his process before he even started doing Flosstubes, and kind of said, you know, that he had a lot of kind of friends or that were giving him opinions about how he should do his Flosstube and whether or not he should do Flosstube. And some of them were kind of telling him, well, you can't do that. You know, he'd run ideas by him. They'd be saying, oh, you know, you can't really do that in the cross stitch community, because that would offend most people. You know, like maybe saying the F word or drinking a beer or something like that. Well, I'm not offended about that stuff, although certain connections that I have, they would not be very happy with me if I were to not drink the beer, but but like use my kind of my normal language, but I try not to curse around children at all, like including my own kids. I know some people are different, and that's fine. Anyway, so, but I thought that was interesting though, and so then he kind of went into talking about being himself, you know, that he would just like to be himself, you know, and I think being authentic was kind of the concern, and you know, just having a place where you can just be your authentic self. And you know, and that is like a real struggle for, I think, probably most people, because most of us would love to just be like, I think would love to just be comfortable and be happy all the time, just being who we want to be, who we internally we are. And anyway, so that was kind of like an interesting continuation sort of this conversation that was seemed like from the documentary. Val also like just kind of like, you know, figuring out, you know, that authentic, happy space to exist in. And anyway, so I really appreciated that conversation in that specific Flosstube. And I actually love that kind of stuff, like getting to know people who are into something that I'm into. And, you know, even if I'm not, you know, even if we're not having like a live conversation or something, but just like hearing how people think and their thought processes is very fascinating to me. But I think for the most part, you know, people are so similar. Like most of us, really, if we knew each other well, we'd probably know how relatable each of us really are. Anyway, so yeah, Stitchman Darcy and his wife Melissa, like she has, I think they're going to start doing like Melissa segments, and she is awesome. Like she kind of reminds me of like Christine Applegate, like the way she looks, but also like she's funny, like Christine Applegate's funny. I don't know if everybody knows who she is, but anyway, so she's Melissa's kind of like newer at stitching than Darcy, but she does, like, I love her projects. She picks out the cutest projects. So she's doing a witch too before Halloween. And anyway, so go check them out. Watch Melissa's segment too. And then Mom Stitcher, she's on Instagram and she's on Flosstube. I love her stuff. She's pretty new to Flosstube. She has a great Disney Jungle Book finish. I love looking at that. It's pretty big, and she might be giving birth right now. I don't know. Like, she's pregnant and she has a few children, and she lives in Germany, but I can't remember. She's from the south somewhere. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But she's awesome, and I love her. She's like total sweet lady. She and I have talked a couple times, and yeah. So good luck with having your baby. And her name's Amber too. I forgot that. So yeah. So check her out on Instagram and Flosstube if you can. And she's worth it. Yeah, I love all her pieces, all her finishes. She's got like a lot of, I think, like a Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, so I think she has like various maybe she doesn't have Winnie the Pooh. I can't remember. I think I mixed her up with the next lady I was gonna say. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, so Cross Stitch Bunny. But she has a store, an Etsy store. She's in the UK. She just started her Flosstube also. Okay, sorry, I need to empty out my storage. But so Cross Stitch Bunny, she's in the UK. Love her accent. I love her pieces. She and I have really similar taste. She when she went back into cross stitching, because she'd done it when she was younger, but she got into it when she was older. And I think her inspiration was her children, I believe. So she like did a bunch of like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger at first, and they're so good, like really cute stuff that she did. And yeah, so just check her stuff out on Flosstube. Like, she is so charming and so precious, so sweet to watch. I love her. And then there is, let's see, I think it's Alexis_My Amazing World on Instagram, but I can't remember what her Flosstube is, except for maybe like Amazing Alexis or something. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think she got pretty popular. She's new to Flosstube. She did her first Flosstube, I think a couple weeks ago. And, like she's, you know, she got like a lot of views and everything. And she's just like really fun and really bubbly. And, I love her, finishes. And I already talked about her earlier, about her finishes, her FFOs. And she's doing, the Dark Queen still, her whip, and she's got a bunch of other whips that she just showed in her last video I just watched, and she's with her sister and her wife in that, and they're like so fun, and they're like playing off each other, and they're so supportive to each other, and I love that. Like, as I was talking about, it kind of, you know, ties in, where like, you know, talking about like artists, crafters, you know, creators, like just supporting each other and just being like positive. Like these Alexis and her group were just like all about like positivity and sunshine and being supportive to each other, and that's the best. Like that's the best. Like that's how we should be to each other. So anyway, great stuff. And check her out. And then let's see. And I wanted to tell Betsy Kleger on, I think she's just Betsy Kleger on Instagram and YouTube, and you know, she doesn't need a shout out for me, but you know, she has a tumor that she's doing it's called the Stupid with 2 O's Stupid Tumor Cell. So if you hashtag that, you can see you know, what that is and follow along. But I wish her luck with the steroid treatment. She's taking steroids, and she goes on her last Flosstube was the only one I've seen of her. She says, I hope this isn't the first one you've seen. Well, it was. Because she's on steroids, and she's like, I hope that this is not like your first impression of me. Well, it was. But she is so funny. Like, I love listening to her, and she was adorable, and kind of has an edge to her, and I love that. That's great, you know, like being herself, I think. So that's the best way to be, you know. So I wish her luck on that, and she's had some hearing loss from that, and I got I had to get an ear tube in, I think it was last year or earlier this year, and like I have, because I was having like some issues with my ear, like getting infections in my right ear, and when I got they warned me, you know, I got a hearing test and everything before to make sure that I could afford to lose any hearing, and I could, and so I have, and so it has been more difficult to hear if there's any background noise and stuff. So this it's nowhere near, you know, what she's gone through, but I just know on just a very base level that it is frustrating to lose something, you know, and I don't like it, but I have had a, you know, better quality of life because I don't always have to deal with a low-grade infection anymore. But it does suck to like not hear as well and have to go what, you know, and someone leaves the room or there's just a little bit of background noise. So anyway, so yeah, good luck Betsy. And then I wanted to show just like a couple things that I was planning on making, and I possibly am going to do a stitch along with Alexis, my Amazing World Alexis, and I don't know, we'll see. But Bella, I've wanted to do this for a long time. It's the Bella Filipina Luna Mystica, so because she's doing like a sal of just Bella Filipina pieces. And I don't know, maybe I'll do it on this, or maybe I'll find like a light pink fabric. I'm not really sure, but I kind of love that for this Bella Filipina. So we'll see. That's, you know, this Rolanda fabric. And then 3 other pieces that I wanted to show that are basically, I mean, they are haul, they are stash enhancements, but this one I recently got. Stitchman Darcy was talking about Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery, and you know, that's always Modern Folk Embroidery was always suggested to me on Instagram, but I don't really know why I should be interested. Like, no offense, but when Stitchman Darcy showed this one, it's Edgar Allan Poe. I was like, uh-oh, I better get that because that is awesome. Like the Skull and Bones, I love this. style mixed in with Edgar Allan Poe. So the quote from Edgar Allan Poe here is, "Be silent in that solitude which is not loneliness, for then the spirits of the dead who stood in life before thee are again in death around thee, and their will shall overshadow thee. Be still." So that's pretty freaking sweet. I love it. So definitely we'll do that at some point in the next month or so, or yeah, I think probably maybe the next month. Maybe I'll do it for next Halloween if I don't get to it, but we'll see. And then I love this that I got recently, the Stitch Witch. And it says, "I make magic with a needle and thread," and it's by Witch's Garden Crafts, and the pattern just called Stitch Witch. And then this adorable person on Instagram, Sprouting Lupine, made this piece designed this piece with this like mushroom design cape. Like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So it's called Lady Amada or Amanita, if I'm saying that wrong. Oops. But Lady Amanita, and she is beautiful, and she is tan. So Alexis and her wife and her sister were talking about needing to like not like whitewash certain like mythological and historical figures, I believe. And I don't know who this lady is, and I don't know like what her original like story is or anything like that, but she's tan, and I thought that was like one of the cooler things. Like she kind of looks like maybe like a gypsy or something, and I would love to do that. I love variety, and I have definitely changed a lot of my skin tones in my pieces throughout the years because I do love variety, and I personalized a lot of gifts for like friends and family. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this. I'm sorry about all the rambling, and this is probably the longest one I've ever done. So if you like what you heard, and you want to come back, subscribe please, and